What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean P, the Blunt Guy. Hey! And we are back again with another reaction stream, baby. Let me stop though. But today we will be reacting to content creator King of Lightning. Probably one of the early One Piece YouTube creators that I've really start following, right? But I've done a video, previous reaction to him. I think like last week. I think. Uh, but yeah, so today's video is titled "Why Zunesha Must Die to Save Wino Country." All right, so I think the title pretty much kind of speaks for itself. It's talk. The theory must be something having to do with Zunesha's death. You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what it has to do. But again, we'll watch it and see, why Zunesha has to die in order for, I guess, Wino country progression. I guess I would say. But yeah, but before I get into that, make sure you give your boy a like. Show your boy some love. Like the stream. Hit that subscribe button and that bell for notifications. I am doing a giveaway at 50 subscribers. And I mean, even if you're a little late to the party, you just gotta be there before the winner's announced, and you possibly got a chance to win. But all that we'll discuss that on the whatever Sunday chapter stream is after we hit that 50 subscriber mark. That's when I will give you guys the rundown to how the giveaway is going to happen, right? So there's that, But yeah, so again, and all right. So make sure you also follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, and my Facebook page. Links in the description, as well as the One Piece Discord and the One Piece Facebook group. If you're looking for a One Piece community to be a part of. But yeah, so that's all my thing. Now we got this theory or this video, right? I guess it's the theory on Zunesha's death. Now, personally, I can't really come up with any reason why Zunesha has to die. But we're gonna see what the video has to say. I don't see why Zunesha would have to die in order, to save Wano country, or I'm assuming it's to save Wano country, or maybe it's for story purposes. I personally don't know what his reasoning is towards Zunesha dying, but we're about to find out anyway. But yeah, so let's get into it. Let's not waste no time. Y'all see, today's a little cool where I'm at. Down here in Texas, we don't really get cold. Well, we do. It does get cold. I'm not gonna say we never get cold weather. We had an ice storm last year that was pretty bad, and I mean, I haven't lived in Texas that long, but I've been to Texas before during the winters, and it's been pretty cold. I must say, but. Yeah, today is, it's been freezing, but I think it's pretty cold all around the country for the most part, especially up north. Let me know what the weather is like where you're at. I'm curious to know where you guys are at and what's the weather like. You could put that, if you're watching this live, put it in the chat. If you're not watching it live, then put it in the comments. Let me know what the weather's like. But yeah, so let's get into this. All right, so the link to this video will also be in the description. So make sure you, after we finish watching this video, maybe go shoot him a like to the video. Maybe if you haven't already, go subscribe. He's been doing this content for a while now, so he got he has a big library of videos. If you just want to go binge on some One Piece content and you never came across King of Lightning. So, I get some people might have mixed feelings on them, might have negative feelings, but hey, it is what it is. But let's get into it.
Oh, yeah. A lot of elephant-based questions are overflowing into our mind as of late, not just because we haven't seen Jack do a single name attack in the entire series, so clearly the man is rolling into Power Warriors 5 busted as all hell. That's one. But number two, and most importantly, the big boy itself, Zunesha, is here in Wano country. Elephant season has arrived, and Zunesha...
Big elephant versus small mammoth. Big elephant gonna win that every time. Well, as long as the elephant's bigger than the mammoth, because if it's the other way around, the mammoth is winning in general. But I would think, I know I'm kind of going off topic on a little rant, but I would think if it's like a normal size elephant to a normal size mammoth, I think mammoths were bigger than elephants, so I think a mammoth would win that case. But in this case, nah, because the bigger guy is indeed the country size elephant.
is about to show these World Government boys the time of their lives, or what little time they have left. Help me! But without a doubt, you have plenty of time to support your boys' content with a thumbs up, please, with a subscription, and click on that bell to join the notification squad. Please! Now, off the gate, Oda's very sneaky, but off the gate, there are two fake outs. One is a Oda fake out, another one is actually a translation fake out. And I say this because there is seemingly a lot of confusion as to what exactly the random World Government guy is talking about. So, right here, in the Viz Media version of the chapter, the World Government soldier says this, and I quote, there's a huge shadow up ahead. And then someone else responds on the other line, what is it? Then the guy says, I don't know. An island? Now the key thing here is that when you look at the direction that the World Government ships are facing in, they're facing into the direction of Wano country. And we see these black clouds in the distance, in the horizon, in the second to last page, the bottom panel. This led many folks to believe that this black cloud shadow over the rocks in the direction of Wano country is the giant shadow slash island that the fodder guy is talking about. Completely unaware that Zunesha is behind them until it popped out at the end of the chapter. And plus we do know that Onigashima is flying around.
Yeah, that part kind of got to me, because I pointed that out before, right? So like, I think I was watching a YouTube video or a theory. I can't remember who it was. It was like one of the recent streams I did, I think like last week or something. And so what happened was hold on.
Near
But yeah, so what happened was, I think it was the Joy Boy theory, right? The Joy Boy theory's video I reacted to, and he said like Zunesha might have been there during that whole time, and that could have been the case. But it's like, why, if Zunesha was there that whole time, why is he behind the ships, right? Like, I don't get it, because when we look at the panel, it's like all the ships are facing toward, like, it seems like they're facing towards Wano, right? But they when we see the Zunisha's shadow, it's behind the ships. So it would seem like the ships are between Zunesha and Wano. And if that's the case, it's like, did Zunesha just get there? Like, that made me believe that Zunesha just got there, but opposed to, I guess, Joy Boy's speculation to that, Zunesha was there the whole time.
the flower capital, and this guy might have seen Onigashima flying around in the clouds. The thing is, though, when you read the scans, there is no mention of a direction when the fodder World Government guy speaks. In the same panel of the scans, the guy says, well, there's a giant shadow, then continues on to say, no idea. An island? So because there isn't any notation for a direction in the scans, it's clearer that the guy is talking about probably Zunesha, and he's actually looking in the opposite direction behind them where the World Government ships are facing, because at this point in time they are on standby. So when it comes to those very
honestly, I think he and I like King of Lightning, but he tends to do this a lot. I think he kind of he makes a lot of stuff out of nothing. I think the dude was talking about Zunesha. I think he seen Zunesha and he was looking in that direction, and it was clearly he was talking about Zunesha. That's what I believe. I think he's kind of just making it, yeah, I get it's some translation, sometimes the translation does kind of, it can be make things a little confusing, but in this instant, I think it's kind of obvious he's talking about, he was looking in a direction of where Zunesha was coming from, and he was talking about Zunesha. That's my thing, because sometimes I think King of Lightning tries to, he overanalyzes some things that doesn't necessarily need overanalyzing, but and this is one of those times. I think he was clearly talking about Zunesha. I could be wrong, but I think he was talking about Zunesha. Because nothing. If you look straight, like in this panel right here, If you look straight, there's nothing that could really. There's nothing you see that could make the guy think that whatever is this shadow is coming from that direction. Like that little area right there, that doesn't look like nothing. It looked like fog, like smoke or whatever. But yeah, let's continue.
Dark clouds that we see at the bottom of the single last page of the chapter, those dark clouds tend to be clouds we've seen before in the past when we are going into Wano country from a distance. Plus, think about this for a second, all right? We've seen maps of Onigashima and Wano country before. And Onigashima, even though it's in the air floating around because of Kaido, it's big enough to just really cover the flower capital section of the Wano country archipelago. It fits really easily in areas like Udon or Kibi or Kuri, those areas. So even if the father dude could see Onigashima flying over the flower capital, given the elevation and the clouds and regular binoculars, because I'm going to assume that this brother isn't sporting the Von Auga ocular upgrades. I'm pretty sure he's not that nice. Onigashima, given the distance, would just be a small blip or a small shadow.
So I guess he think, or he's. I don't think it was Onigashima. I don't think that's what he was talking about. Like, because you gotta think, Wano is like up in that mountain, right? It's like almost like a volcano, almost, right? A mountain, you know, like you gotta go up it, and it's like, how do you see Onigashima from there? You know, I think it was clearly Zunesha. You know, I think a lot of this is just like it's clearly Zunesha that he was talking about. I'm gonna stick to that side because I think it's a stretch to think that he was talking about Onigashima. Is it possible? Like I said, anything is possible, but I think it's a stretch. I think he was talking about Zunesha. Because why would he say that specifically and then Zunisha's right behind him? You know, like, why would he say that? And then Zunisha's there. You know, it's not like we get a panel of Wano in the sky and then he says that. No, it's, you know.
Shadow over Wano country. It wouldn't be a huge or a gigantic shadow that both translations know to. So the best bet is Zunesha. Not someone like Blackbeard is descending onto Wano country riding some gigantic 100-mile long black nimbus cloud. I'm willing to bet that's not the case. Now, the second fake out is an Oda fake out.
I ain't gonna lie though, if that was Blackbeard on some black nimbus cloud thing, that would be kind of funny. That would be kind of funny.
Elder's discussion about the devil fruit in conjunction with Zunesha arriving, I think itself is a fake out. That's right. I talk about this in my recent video that I did about the most important devil fruit in 2022. That video is also based on this chapter as well. But the key thing here is that their conversation is about the fruit's awakening and the government giving the fruit another name to hide it from the history books. I don't think it makes much sense for us to have never heard of this fruit before, to find out its fake name, let's say in the near future, and then later on find its real name.
What do you mean by that?
Nah, it sounds a bit weird. Plus, we've seen awakened Zoans before in the past and it fell down with the Jailer Beast. And they are in hybrid-ish Zoan forms. Now, to be fair, they are regular Zoans, and we can assume that whatever Zunesha would have would be like a mythical something. But even still, when you're a Zoan, you have insane stamina, you have insane endurance and recovery speed and durability, and that is the complete opposite of Zunesha. Despite its size and its mass, we saw with Jack the Drought in chapter 821, after a cannon bombardment, its legs and its skin start to crack and break down. Jack knows to how it was old and decrepit. And that's
my argument to that, where he's talking about like Zunisha's lack of endurance, right? Think about this, right? Think about this. Like, one of my arguments against Zunesha having a devil fruit is the fact that Zunesha is constantly walking in this water, right? He's constantly traveling the sea, right? So we know how water, especially like still water, affects a devil fruit user, right? And just in case you don't know, because a lot of people get this confused, and if you don't believe me, which is fine, I get it. You could go check you could go research it yourself and find it from SBS with Oda saying this himself. I'm just going to paraphrase it. I could be a little off with the paraphrasing, but I'm gonna just paraphrase it. But how devil fruits work? It's not the type of water. It's not water that affects devil fruits. It's still water, like a body of water, like a tub would be a body of water, a small body of water, but it's a body of water, a still body of water. And it is also about how much of the devil fruit user's body is submerged in the water. So let's say Luffy, for example, right? If he steps into a puddle of water that comes to his knees, right? To his like knees, he will feel it, but it won't be enough to actually affect him and his ability to use his devil fruit and just to function in general. Now, if it goes halfway to his body, then yeah, it's going to affect him even more. If it goes to his neck, he's probably going to be pretty powerless. So it's about how much is some of the user's body is submerged. Now we take a look at Zunesha, right? Zunesha is this big elephant. It's big enough to where its main portion of its body is above the water, whereas it's mostly it's his legs that are above the water. Now, I would say majority of Zunisha's body is not submerged in the water, but the fact that enough of its body is submerged in the water, I could see the effects. If Zunesha does indeed have a devil fruit, I could see the effects of the seawater affecting or weakening Zunesha on top of its age and everything. You know, the fact that it's a much older, you know, that too. You know, age does matter, especially with like living organisms, right? So the fact that most of his body is submerged in his water, or a good portion of his body is submerged in his water, it affects how tough, how strong Zunesha would be. So I kind of, what he just said, like his whole idea that, you know, zone users are, you know, pretty durable, but Zunisha's not durable. Again, that's a very flawed argument, seeing the fact that Zunesha is walking constantly in the sea, constantly walking for the last however many years. So if you take that into consideration, and then you take the fact that it's it could be a devil fruit user, I could imagine Zunesha always being a weakly animal or a weakly being. Just imagine if Luffy had to pretty much walk in water that came up to his knees constantly. You know, he's not going to be as strong. I mean, he probably would be able to take certain attacks because he's still rubber, but he wouldn't be as strong as, you know, he normally would be, you know, like that we normally see him. You know, he'd be severely weakened and nerfed. So what I'm saying is the fact that Zunesha always walks in water is pretty much nerfs Zunesha in many ways, as well as age and all that. If Zunesha does indeed have a devil fruit, you know. So yeah, I can't accept that argument, me personally. I think that's a weak argument to say that just because Zunesha was taking all that cannon fire and it was actually doing damage to him. Yeah, are we not forgetting he's in the sea the whole time? But let's continue.
It's gotta mean something, because cannonballs for the most part in One Piece are relatively useless, but here Zunesha is buckling under because its skin isn't tough, its legs isn't tough, because it's been around for 1,000 years. And then finally, on top of that, I would argue that Zunesha itself predates the creation of the devil fruits. Yes, because Zunesha was born probably during the Age of Heaven. Now that is going to be its own video in the future. But ultimately speaking, I would say that I think that the devil fruits were created by the ancient kingdom of Yore long ago as a means to combat whatever happened with their defeat. Meaning that they've been around, the devil fruits have been around for, let's say, 900 plus years, something like that. However, I do want to entertain this idea for a little bit. The idea that Zunesha is a devil fruit user, since anything is possible given Oda's imagination. And maybe the term awakened in the chapters actually refers to the devil fruit not respawning. Because normally when someone dies, the soul of the fruit goes to the fruit, therefore it respawns. But because Zunesha has been alive for 1,000 years, the fruit hasn't respawned. If so, then this legendary Zozo fruit could have been eaten by some giant of tremendous size, which is possible. Like a giant that was just as big as the Onigashima Skull Dome and so on. However, I did see a theory, I think either on Twitter or on Discord, where someone talked about the idea of Zunesha being an ancient weapon, like Pluton. What if Pluton, the ancient battleship of yore, ate a mythical Zoan devil fruit? It is a weird idea since we do know that it's an actual ship, and Frankie had those blueprints. I mean, that was the entire mission of...
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about this theory about Zunesha possibly being Pluton. I don't know, you know? I do like the theory. I'm not gonna lie. I like the theory. I think it's a good theory, and it, you know, I would. In so many ways, it could make sense if it wasn't already established, you know, that Pluton is like a inanimate type ship, right? You know, like it had blueprints. You can't build Zunesha, right? You can't build another Zunesha. You could build another. You could build a ship. You could build. So in that case, you know, maybe the blueprints that Frankie had were like artificial Zunesha or something. I don't know. You know, I don't know how that would personally work. But and at the same time, it's like Frankie seeing the Pluton blueprints and knowing the Pluton blueprints and also being on Zunesha, it would be like, would he have not kind of put like two and two together? Like I say, okay, those blueprints I have are very similar to this sentient elephant, this ocean elephant. I don't know, man. That's a tough theory. I like the theory. And if it was right, I would not be mad. But it's like, what was the point in building Pluton up to be like a sentient, inanimate, or not a sentient, but an inanimate. I'm saying that word wrong. Ship, right? So that you can build. You know, you got the blueprint, so you can build it. Unless those blueprints was really kind of a misdirect, right? Like maybe they created those blueprints to make you think that Pluton was a inanimate ship, you know, like a normal seafaring boat type ship, right? So that could also be the case as well, you know, because it's like, because when you think about it, unless Pluton does exist, like it's still around like the normal Pluton. Also, Frankie probably knowing the blueprints in his head, it's like I think Pluton is going to be necessary at one point, especially in like end game wise, right? It's going to be necessary. But if Frankie destroyed the only blueprints we got, he's going to either have to be the one to build it, so there's going to have to be a reason for him to be motivated to build it, or Pluton is still around, right? Like the actual, you know, if I say Pluton is an inanimate ship, it's still around, or Zunesha could still be in fact Pluton. You know, those are the three. Those are like the three situations that I see happening. You know, it's either Frankie going to have to be motivated to build it. There is a Pluton actual ship, like boat ship, like when we think of ship, that type of ship, or Zunesha is indeed Pluton, and maybe it's like some devil fruit, some ship devil fruit or something. So, you know, I don't know.
Of CP9 during the Water 7 arc. However, we do know for a fact that Vegapunk can make inanimate objects turn into devil users, i.e. Frank Freed, another elephant. So you upscale Frank Freed, the sword that ate an elephant Zoan ability, into a battleship that ate a mythical Zoan ability, which would be essentially Zunesha. After all, we know that currently Vegapunk can do this. Then back then, would I argue they are way more technologically advanced, this ancient kingdom, then they could absolutely do something like that if they so choose to. And keep in mind that Vegapunk could be on one of those World Government ships, because at the beginning of this arc, Orochi did say to bring Vegapunk to Wano country. So he could.
Y'all, let me ask y'all something in the chat, or if you watch this later, put it in the comments. Do y'all think Vegapunk is in that ship? Like, is Vegapunk in the one of the World Government ships? So will we be seeing Vegapunk in Wano? Because I kind of don't know if CP0 brought Vegapunk. I think Vegapunk is too valuable to the world government to even consider a demand from Orochi. Like, they might try to trick him, they might try to play along and act like they're gonna give him what he wants, but I don't know, man. I don't know if they brought Vegapunk. To me, it just depends on how much they really value that relationship with Orochi, right? If they really do, if the weapons that are manufactured in Wano are that important, then I could see, like, if the weapons manufacturing in Wano is more important than what Vegapunk brings to the table, right? Then I can see, world government possibly, giving up Vegapunk. But I don't see that being the case, because like, Vegapunk could build you weapons, right? He could build you weapons that are better than guns and swords and all those things. So honestly, I just don't see world government wanting to give up somebody like Vegapunk to a Yonko, because in a sense, that's what the world government would be doing. They're giving Kaido. They're pretty much giving Kaido Vegapunk. So you're gonna just let this Yonko be even stronger than he already is. You know what I'm saying? For what? Some guns? Some measly guns and swords and stuff and explosives? Like, and I get how that could be helpful, but Vegapunk could build you. He could create artificial devil fruits, right? And that means he could build you a devil fruit army. And when I say artificial devil fruits, I don't mean like the little cheap smile devil fruits that, has a very low success rate to whether it's an actual good devil fruit or not. And even if you get a successful smile devil fruit, right? It's still like, is it even worth it? Because you look at all the smile fruit users where it's like, you got one guy who's like a chicken, but his face is like the chicken butt, right? And then the other guy who's like part of a giraffe, but his body is connected to the neck. It's like, it's all like discombobulated smile fruit users. But we know Vegapunk can actually make artificial devil fruits that are pretty much equal to a normal devil fruit. Like, key example, Momonosuke. It's the only artificial devil fruit that we really know of that's been confirmed that Vegapunk has made. And bro, it's just like Kaido's devil fruit. There's no flaws in it. I'm not saying there's no flaws, but as far as we know, there's really no flaws to it. It looks like Kaido's devil fruit. It has the abilities to create clouds like Kaido's devil fruit and also fly like Kaido's devil fruit. It's just Momonosuke is not really, he hasn't really mastered using the devil fruit as much as Kaido did. So yeah.
Could be on one of those ships, so we can't have them being destroyed just yet. So this theory's out there, and I'm not gonna bank on it too much. But keep in mind that all these possibilities could be flipped too, where it could be a natural born elephant in the world itself, but has an ability of some kind that we haven't seen it use yet. But again, when it comes to Zunesha being a different user, this is not the camp where I'm in. No, sir. Again, watching.
Now I got, what if Now this might sound stupid. It might sound ridiculous. I just came up with a little mini theory. It's not well thought out, so please don't crucify me for it. It's just something I just thought of. What if Zunesha is a devil fruit, right? And when the devil fruit awakens, like what if it's like a Pluton devil fruit, and when it awakens, it turns into this big. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, but and it would kind of make sense because it's a very unique devil fruit. The way the Gorosei kind of sold it, right? So if it's that unique of a devil fruit that's just that different from all the other devil fruits where they had to rename it and all these things, maybe it works differently from other devil fruits. Maybe it's like a sentient devil fruit that almost like evolves. Like when it awakens into this Zunesha, right? So I don't know. Just throwing that out
A video on the most important devil fruit in One Piece 2022. I'll link in the box below, and you'll see exactly what I think when it comes to this